Hi, John.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Um, we're running tight on planning commissioners.
Okay,
Um,
two.
oh, we have three. Jay's online. Hi, Jay.
He's at quarter to saying I'm running late, but we kept him in another meeting.
Yeah, we had a meeting before the meeting. Um, we need one more. We need one more. But for a work session, we don't need, we actually don't. So we could just give it a couple minutes and then start.
Yeah, let's, because, well, yeah. Who all was here last week for the training of the city council?
Right.
I was.
Yeah.
Mark,
Becky was,
and Mark and Nathan were the ones that didn't come.
I thought Mark was there.
No, Mark was.
Yeah, Mark
It was
and Becky
David
were
Griffin
there.
that wasn't.
Okay,
Okay.
Dave and Nate.
I thought Dave was coming, nobody said that they weren't coming except for Nathan. Well, I'm sorry. it was up to- But, because it's, the work session, I've just started at 10 o'clock, so we can.
Well, you wanna start or do you wanna wait?
Up
You
to
don't want me to have to repeat yourself if more people trickle in, but
I think we just wait a minute.
yeah.
So, John Jansen's joining us as well.
Is he?
He's a planner.
I think
He,
he's the gentleman I've seen.
yes,
speak
he's been
before.
here a few times.
Yeah.
John, I don't know if you want to reveal yourself, but, he usually has a nice, good looking gray beard. And you're on mute too.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, I have been there several times, quite a few times.
His computer doesn't like Zoom. When we use the other platforms, it's fine, but he switches to Zoom and it goes dark. It's a true story, actually.
Well, it gets to be incognito for the night then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Actually, it says the video is started, but it looks 100%
Oh,
black.
see, I can kind of see you on my computer, but on the TV screen, you're blacked out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of those college football blackout things.
Yeah, we're too close. In the wrong region.
Oh, maybe we should just get started.
Well, be at 5 after.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
wait.
I was gonna wait till 5 after.
Okay, let's wait till 5 after. Courtesy. And Gary did have some impromptu training that he wanted to add.
If it's training, should we wait till there are more of us here?
Yeah, yeah. I would say at the end. 7:15.
Do you need to leave, Teresa, before 7:30 or just jump on a call at 7:30 or something?
Would be nice to leave this up.
Okay,
So we have a hard stop on that.
great.
This might just, execute people and stuff.
Yeah, there may have been some confusion about what time we started. Well, I think well, almost. I was gonna say we should wait for Teresa to get back now, though.
What?
Page 111.
You want to go to,
Page 111.
if you want to dive into something, well, let's focus on content though. If the little stuff you'll give me and we'll address it, but any substantial content, let's focus on that. If that's what you got, Ray, let's jump on that. I think we
I
should
think we can
start.
start without Teresa.
Yeah,
She
yeah, we
already
can.
started the
Uh-huh.
recording.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well then let's start. Welcome, everybody, to this work session of the City Planning Commission. We are going to discuss the general plan, and with that, I will give the time to Jake.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Well, welcome Jason online and welcome John. John's a fellow planner on this project. First thing I just wanted to is mention that our existing general plan has the proposed level of park service at 4.5 acres per 1,000 residents. Our current level is 3.14. When this plan was adopted last year, it was decided that Morgan did need more park space, active families, active individuals, sports. So we needed more. And so just put that out there. There hasn't been any discussion of changing it. And I'm not recommending a change. Does anyone see otherwise why we should change that number?
No, I'm just wondering, how recently was that calculated, that we were at 3.14?
Yeah, cause
Uh,
I have a different number than you got.
last year's when it was calculated.
What have you got, Ray?
Okay, let me, on page 15, you show Park Point Park 3.4, and Riverside Park 10.4. And then on page 117, that chart, you only show our current parcels, so at 7.18. Yeah, those two together, 12.8.
Okay, let's go there.
No numbers in here.
Yeah, and that might be what our consultants had before, but let's fix it if we need to. Okay, go to
Yeah.
112.
Yeah, the fish parking, our total, we're at 18.2.
Oh, well,
Almost to the 19.
the fish pond is not finished yet, so
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't, it's in the pipeline, but not counted.
But, right, but on your chart here, the one category says parks, future park, combined lands. It would
Yeah.
fit in that category.
So you're on page, what does the page number say?
117.
Oh, 117. Okay,
Table 223. I'm suggesting that second number that says 7.18. I don't know where that came from, but
but
back on page 115, we say Riverside Park's 7.4 acres. And we say Foxwoods 2.4.
yeah, okay,
Our existing ought to be 12.8, not 7.1,
okay.
the way I do
So-
math.
Yeah, I don't know where they came up with that, but I'm gonna make a note here, review and update.
And then if you go down to the fourth grouping down, it says it says parks, future parks combined land. If you add the fish park in that, that's at 18.2, which is almost your 19.8 we're shooting for.
Yeah, and actually, you throw in the plaza.
They're there.
And,
And I didn't put the plaza in, I didn't know the acreage on it.
yeah,
Put plaza in, that would increase that 18.2 even further. So to me, these numbers are not accurate, what we're shooting for.
yeah,
You probably don't want to hear all the stuff I've got. I got stuff like that to me don't make sense with the numbers that whoever put them together didn't quite put them all together. But I'm weird and I understand that.
oh, you're great. Okay. Going back to that, do we want to look at this number again, the 4.5, or?
You're almost there.
We are almost there. A lot of cities in Utah are in this 4 to 5 range, so.
I'm okay to leave the target there, but we're almost to the target. We've already got the target
Yeah.
accomplished.
I don't know though, because if we are almost to the target, I think we all agree there are certainly areas of the city where we could benefit from another park. So do we want to set that target a little higher?
Yeah, Yeah, it could be.
So,
Other places in the country that have a lot of parks, some of them will hit 10 acres per 1,000. You see those in, there's a lot of the country doesn't have the natural public lands like we have in Utah. And so they tend to have a lot higher parks than,
I
than,
think that's an
than,
issue in Morgan too, right? We have natural beauty, but it's not public land.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back with a different number to look at.
And I don't think we need to go, my opinion wouldn't be that we need to go to 10, but yeah, if we could be on the higher end of normal, so 5 or so, I think that would be better.
Well, and part of it, you look at what we're missing, and I think what we heard during the general plan, during this process and the previous was play space, fields for all kinds of sports.
Absolutely. That's a huge need.
And-
in
and the
community.
As wonderful as the fish pond, the plaza, and the terrain park are, nobody's playing organized sports
Soccer, football.
on those. So, okay, so let's circle back to that. And
How realistic
Jake?
is it to
Uh,
expect that in the city? The city doesn't have that kind of land, do they? I mean, we're gonna have to depend on the county for. something
Well,
like that.
well, I mean, we do have some of our goals in here. John, what do you have?
Well, I was just trying to remind myself, I'm sorry I've forgotten, but the PP2 and PP3, are those included in the future park numbers?
No.
No, so you probably are gonna get beyond that 4.5 pretty easily when those western areas there start to develop. So I think setting a little higher number makes sense.
Yeah, especially Morgan is a very active community. So in terms of the question for the next goal, our other goals for Morgan Parks are a North Morgan Park. That's high on the priority list. That's probably is actually the highest priority of new land. And then PP2, which stands for Planned Park. That on the dairy land, that would happen when the dairy gets developed. If, again, if and when, and then also the southwest would also depend on that land when that gets developed. But is the planning commission in agreement of these proposed park locations, meaning, and the North Morgan is just anywhere in North Morgan where we can get flat land.
Where's the southwest one?
PP3,
The one,
right?
that's a school district.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And really could be anywhere
Yeah.
in this area.
No, I think that sounds good. Ray, did you have any further comments on that?
Just on that map, I don't know if it matters. All of the park designations are not listed on that side of the map. I don't know if they should be or not.
This map is, it's already being updated with that, so.
Okay, there are several of the park designations that are already in existence that aren't on there.
Yep. I'm aware of that.
Okay.
We also have, so the PCR, that's partner community recreation. Those were just identifying, we could even add those to the numbers. The problem with the partner recreation is you don't know if they're gonna allow you to play there now. Right now, everybody plays nice in Morgan, the county, no?
No.
The school district, no?
We work it out.
Work it out, but it's not easy.
It's not a given that you're going to be allowed to use
Not a
the
given.
fields anytime you
So,
want.
Does anybody here coach here? If you need a field for a practice, where do you go?
I would assume the
Right,
county
right.
rec director,
Practice what?
The stake center?
yeah.
Which
you-
that would be a partner, but if the church, changes policy, the grass is getting ruined or whatever.
People go to the
That-
stake center, they go to the church buildings, they go to the county fairgrounds, they go to all the school properties, all the places they go.
They're all private or other government.
But
They go to the county parks, but, like some of them, like the Milton Park, that's where we used to practice baseball. It's hard to get on.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
fill up.
And some of them, they won't let you reserve the park.
So we really do need a sports specific park.
That would be great. I think there would be a lot of community enthusiasm and support
Maybe
for
that's
that.
where the PP3 and the PP2 are good opportunities for that because it's flat. North Morgan is not flat and it's gonna be hard to get at some big acreage.
You know, I
There.
don't really find one in North Morgan, it's 5 acres flat.
Yeah.
That he forgot. Oh, okay. And when Mark said he was coming, he was gonna hop on, but he didn't. So you
Yeah.
have Dave and Jay online and you choose their sport. Okay, perfect.
These two, the plaza is obviously under construction. And then the train park is up and coming.
And by up and coming, are we thinking a year or two?
Within a year to two, yeah, there's some money allocated and so, and the city does have permission on railroad property to do some things on it. So, but it's more like the plaza. It's passive space. It's come to downtown Morgan and get food and walk
Right.
over to the caboose and hang out and watch trains get blasted when they come by. So in terms of parks plan, what does everyone think? Should Fox Point actually be improved? I mean, should that be painted and could that, it is a stormwater basin, but I think the grass looks like it's in pretty good condition most of the time. Could that be used more as
I think it can
sports?
be used to play. They do practice. They do soccer and football practice there.
So just keep it as is informal. You don't need painted lines or field goals or anything like that. Okay. Okay, in terms of parks, are we on target then in terms of, we really think this could meet the need in 20 years with some growth? And some of this comes with development, some of it doesn't, meaning if the Southwest gets developed, we gotta have a park. If the Dairy area gets developed, we gotta have a park. North Morgan is find it. That's where the mayor makes friends with everybody that owns land.
Well, it's a bad mistake we made in North Morgan. As far as parks and places for.
Oh, not having one so far. Yeah,
And I know this isn't relevant now, but one comment I would make for the future is just when we are building a park, especially a large park, let's keep in mind parking. Because that's a problem we have at Riverside Park. We do a big event there, nobody can park their car. So they're parking at the school and walking over,
yeah. Well, and we don't want to turn the whole thing into parking because then we don't have a park.
right? That's the problem. So we need one twice as big.
Okay. All right. So, this was the concept for North Morgan. Obviously, when we actually have land and that kind of thing, it'd be different. But if you could get 3 acres in North Morgan, is this what you would want?
What page is that?
It's just not being dropped. I'm actually working with somebody,
Yeah.
Great.
but it's still QT.
Oh, that's
Fingers
great news.
crossed. Yeah,
That is great news.
A park in North Morgan.
125.
I can't say yet.
But that's the idea. Some kind of multi-purpose field, maybe a little league baseball could fit on here as well. And then, soccer, lacrosse, practice anything, and then pickleball's popular, and of course some parking and all that. And anytime you get a park, you get land, that's when you do actual design. But this gives us an idea that we at least need 3 acres. 4 or 5 would be fantastic, but a start at 3.
yeah, I think that idea looks great.
You know it better than I do, but where are you gonna find 3 acres flat ground?
We'll find it.
It's not impossible, but
You know, down by the freeway, some of that ground down.
If you take out the highway commercial or some there,
It could also terrace.
so you'd have to eliminate
doesn't have
highway
to be
commercial.
Completely flat.
Yeah, I
all
mean,
3
the
acres.
play area would be, you'd want the play field to be flat, but if you look at it, you could terrace different, so. Gary, we talked about doing the training at the end. Is that okay?
That would be great.
Okay.
I can see that strikes fear into
Yes.
That's the big finale. We're looking. forward to
Okay.
it.
I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on the fish pond because the city has the land, they're getting the money, and that will go through a real design when it's time. But this gives us an idea in terms of a start. Some parking, fishing, trails, maybe a playground, maybe bathrooms, some picnicking. And then I think some kind of bridge to a future trail would be great.
Possibly ice skating if it ever would get cold enough.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh, that would be
So
awesome.
what?
I think it would happen. I don't,
Some
yeah,
years.
yeah, not this year.
Ice skating.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
that'd be great. Okay, this is actually a good question here on Riverside Park is upgrades. I mean, this is something the city could do sooner rather than later. We looked at adding 8 pickleball courts, and then upgrading some of the existing facilities, the skate park, the playground, some of these other ones, upgrading them. Do you have any thoughts on if taking Riverside as is and making it better in the immediate future?
I
I
don't
think it
know
would
that
be a good idea. That area off to the left where you put the pickleball courts, that's just kind of area that never gets used.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's kind of a central hub park.
Mhm.
And so I think that's where making it have a lot more activities might be good.
That'd be good.
We're still leaving the water park.
Yes, that's on here.
Okay,
Um,
that's a big deal.
I like
Yeah,
it.
you'd be in big trouble if my granddaughter would be mad if you said you were taking that away.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, that's still on there. Let's see.
I don't know how much benefit we really get from the skate park. I mean,
Does it need to be improved? Because it's not like
no, I
not like
don't,
a super high-end one. But if you had a high-end skate park, or is that crowd not here, or is that use not popular with the kids anymore?
do you guys see it a lot? I don't see it. Kids aren't bringing skateboards to the library. I don't see them skating around downtown. I know it goes in and out of fashion, so I just don't know.
There's a few,
There's a few.
but
Mhm.
is it,
Yeah, the e-bikes. Well, and it used to be a basketball court, and I almost
there's still,
wonder if it would work better as just an
still
improved
with
basketball
that.
court. Hmm. And a hockey rink in the winter, which was kind of fun.
Okay, keep that in mind if something comes up. Is there, so we've got pickleball. Is there one other thing that you would say, oh, we would just love this at Riverside if we could have this?
Better power in the Boweries.
Okay,
You plug more than one thing in, you trip the breaker every time.
okay.
And parking. Parking is a huge issue actually for big
the
events.
skate park could be a smaller somewhere else too.
Yeah, that's a nice flat spot though. Well, and we'd have to look at that, right? Because if you're building a skate park, you might not want flat.
So are you saying move the skate park to a different park or move it to a different location of the park?
A different location because it could be small.
Mary Jane.
Jay, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I walk a lot in that area and I feel like the skate park's really popular. I see not just skaters, they take bikes on it and scooters and
I guess that is what I see more is bikes and scooters, but they're still using the skate park.
Yeah, I think it's popular. I notice people there all the time, very regularly.
Okay.
And then I wanted to just make a comment before you went too far from the fishing pond. Just in that broader concept, is there any way that that could be more of a, I always go back to cities that have rivers that you play in. And I just wonder, is there any way that the river could be incorporated? Like, what's the one I always think of? St. Anthony, the city of St. Anthony. They just have a wonderful park in town, and I don't know if that's the Snake River right there or not, but
Yeah, this is Idaho Falls and the Snake River.
yeah, I mean, if there's any way that that Weber River, I know that's a whole nother body of government and stuff, but if there's any way that that could be I mean, a fishing pond's great, but if they were also considering a place where it was approved for people to swim and things like that, I think
I
that,
know the county has kind of looked at that over by the fairgrounds, right? Over by the pickleball courts, creating kind of a zero entry beach area. I don't
Okay.
know how far they've gotten with it, but I
Yeah.
know that's been talked about.
Okay.
I just think that that's maybe that's even a takeout point for a future, if they're putting in at the bridge and taking out below the lower bridge, do we want to look at this as like a river exit point or something, an entry and exit point?
Good idea.
Yeah, I think that's great. And we do, of course, have the trail along it and the bridge across it and the concept. But I think having a beach, I'll take a look at the river and see if there's a location. It
If
might
they
be
ever
good.
get those dams taken out of the river to where the river becomes extremely floatable through the city, I think this could be a huge benefit. And we almost run into a problem of maybe access if it's really popular.
I think that could be, but okay.
And I don't think the fish pond's limited to fishing.
Right. And in this concept, we actually put a dog park on the stormwater basin of the Tractor Supply. I mean, we have to enter into agreement with Tractor Supply to take that on, and but you could have both, actually, a dog park and a stormwater basin.
But the fish pond, you could paddleboard in or
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah, paddleboard, swim, all that. And the concept is the water does circulate from the Weber River in and then out. So we're not actually taking any water out of the river hypothetically, just in and use and back out. And
Would we stock it with fish?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're working with the,
DWR.
DWR, it's a joint project.
But the fish could come in and out.
Nice.
That has a chance to be the coolest thing in our town. That can be so cool for us to have something like that. I mean, isn't the community dying for a pool or something? And if you get a pond instead with fresh water, that's one.
There even could be some kayaking. I like to go to this place called Kelly's Wave up in Idaho and Cascade, and it's really popular. And then they took a river. The flows aren't quite the same, but they have a river surfing. And they're actually these giant waves, and you get on like on the ocean, and you can just surf, just like, yeah.
Yeah, they
So
have
it's
that
popular.
in Bend, Oregon. They just shape the river so it makes a wave, right? And then you've got a wave right in the middle of town that everybody wants to go play at.
Yeah, with something like that, you'd want the wave on the high, and then because you'd use the trail to walk back up, because you're gonna get washed down, and then you want a nice pool to come out. So fun. Thanks, Jay. Any other comments on Riverside Park?
Is the PP3 on the map is just listed as P. So if that matters to you or not.
We'll fix the maps. Just want to look at content. Plaza is really under construction. I do have some some turf samples I'm actually looking at, because we're gonna decide on the turf, synthetic turf. So if you want to take a look at those tonight, for those that are here, for this area actually, that's going in. So that's getting ready. And the blue concrete has actually been poured. The old there needs to be cleaned and stained, and the new looks very bright. So, most of this will be done by this year, but the finishing and making it pretty. Two of the shade cells are actually, the shade cell pipes are in as well.
So should this be usable by this summer?
Oh, yeah, definitely by summer. Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think, I mean, depending on the winter, if we have a bad winter like we're having, then it could be done sooner.
Concrete work since it's so warm.
Yeah, so we are benefiting.
It's a benefit, I guess.
So here's the train park. So this will be seriously looking at, and the city does have money allocated. So a question on this is do you like some of these ideas here, which is come from the visitor center, the old train. We have some walkways around the caboose. You kind of see it here, which those walkways are not now. Maybe some signage, talk about the history of
The
it, because
Historical Society objects to the sign on that rendering that is blocking the caboose. So that is,
okay,
it's just a
it's a
rendering.
rendering.
Right.
What, they don't like a sign, or they don't like?
They don't want a big something blocking the caboose. So if it's a little bit back from the caboose or,
Okay.
that sideways or something.
Okay,
That,
that's, okay,
just because it is such a photo op for, I mean, all the kids in their prom dresses take their pictures
they do?
there. Yeah. And so we want to make sure that it still works that way.
oh, that's cool. I'm gonna get my family photo there next year.
You should.
So some kind of, walkway around it. I think some historical signage. In this case, we were playing and we named it
Right,
Millie the
yeah.
Caboose, but in the existing grass area, some picnic areas. There's a hill here, so we'll have to work with that. And then this kind of goes up to a raised viewing platform.
That hill past the caboose is very steep. Is there room to put a path around there?
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
okay.
And do people just come watch trains?
I think they would.
Think they would?
I think they would.
It's
yeah.
so loud, I feel like you'd be blasted.
You would, but that would be the fun.
That's the effect of it, huh?
Train people, they love that.
It's actually a really big tourist draw. And then,
Oh,
yeah,
I think this, and what I'd like to see is on the west end, some kind of crosswalk that ties into Commercial Street. So grab your food at Spicy Deb's and walk across the street and then come down here and eat. Or we do have a spot for a food truck and then some parking in the gravel area.
and I think the businesses on Commercial are pretty collaborative about that right now, right? That they'll say, oh, you got your ice cream, you should take it down and go talk to the Historical Society at the train depot, and vice versa. They'll say, oh, you stopped to see the trains, you should get something to eat while you're here. And so, yeah, if we can build on that. Traffic, though, I mean, visibility on that corner right there is terrible. So we do need to
Are you
make it
talking
safe
at
for people to
125?
cross. Yeah. that's
Oh,
what it
there's
is.
They're around the weight room.
yeah, and there's a design for that to make it a three-way stop.
Yes,
Then it comes out.
yeah. But I think when you make it a park, that needs to,
Yeah,
Change.
is that under, do we know when that will move forward at all? I know there's a design for that.
It's gonna be part of when we work on I think it's supposed to be on for next year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because it's part of the overlay of Commercial Street and some other things, so.
Yeah, okay.
We'll lose like 2 stalls on Commercial Street, but we gained 50 behind.
yeah.
Okay, and anything in terms of content on parks you want to talk about before we move on to trails?
Just in the verbiage. I just maybe suggest we add some more verbiage. The caboose train park's pretty small. It doesn't mention the depot, doesn't mention museum, doesn't mention any of those other entities that are part of that.
Okay, that's a great point. The thing about the land is all owned by the railroad.
Right.
And so I think we'll just list it under like partners, just like
Right,
we
right.
have.
I get that part, but I ought to talk about the museum and the
Yeah, the
depot and
museum and
pieces.
other
Other
amenities.
pieces could be mentioned in the verbiage.
Okay.
I'm not saying what I claimed was our park, but the verbiage could add to.
Yeah, I
stuff
think
with
that's great.
amenities.
What if they added, because when I looked, I haven't looked inside the railroad building for a while.
So
Is
there's a
there,
gift shop and the Historical Society, so not a museum, but a historical center. They have information and records and photographs. And then there is a small conference space as well.
a conference space?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not large, but
And
yeah,
there's a model train.
there is a model train. We're
that
working on it.
runs.
We're building the buildings of historic
No
Commercial
way.
Street. Yeah,
Wow. What are the typical hours?
noon to 5, Monday through Friday right now.
Okay. Okay. And you're seeing visitors?
Yeah, they're seeing 40 people a day on
Yeah.
standard, which is great because when the Historical Society was in the library building, they saw 40 people a year. So, and I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, no, it's been great.
Yeah.
And most of those, the vast majority are people from out of town. And so
Are they
they're
coming specifically because they want, are they driving through and they heard?
often they're driving through or they're doing some sort of a train road trip and this is a stop on the way that they're
Oh.
stopping here on their way to Evanston, on their way to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's quite a bit, actually, 40 a
Forty.
week,
A day.
a day.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
it depends on the day,
Sure,
obviously,
sure.
but up to, and depends on what they're promoting and things, but yeah,
It's a lot compared to
it is.
nothing.
And that's gonna ebb and flow different times of year. That's the number they gave me most recently, so I don't want to overstate it, but
Summer,
summer's gonna be higher traffic than winter is, and, but at its peak, that's where they're at. And
Okay.
that's fantastic, I think.
You're saying they're putting a model train inside.
Mhm.
Do you know if they've talked with, there's a group in, Utah that are enthusiasts building train, Ray Carter?
Yes, they've talked with them quite a bit.
Okay.
They've kind of had a hard time going from talk to action.
That's
That-
it, okay. 'Cause that group's got a lot of materials.
Yeah.
If they would be willing to cooperate, that they probably could build the whole train thing for us.
They'll promise, but they don't do it.
that's cool. Do they know that the entry sign is made of railroad ties?
They know that. That's cool. I mean, I
Actual-
knew it looked like railroad ties, but I
Oh,
didn't know
and
if it
they're
was.
used, they're used ones came from the Salt Lake, rail yard.
I didn't know that.
So
I'll make
part of
sure
the
they do that.
design.
Yeah.
The big thing at the center is, what's the pins or something they're trading?
Oh,
Those little.
yes, that's been huge. That's
Yeah.
drawn so many people in that the State Historical Society has like a, what did they call it? Like Pin Quest or something, that you can stop at different counties, locations in different counties through the state and get a little pin. And ours was a little trout or something. It was a fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so people traveled all over the state and we went through 250 of them like that. So,
They were talking about one with a
Wow.
double slide in it.
yeah. There are also historic markers in each county that if you can find them, they're a little, yeah, like a little insignia. Unfortunately, ours is at Devil's Slide, so it's not centrally located, but still cool.
Still a big attraction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people go
that's
look
great.
for them. Yeah.
Huh, okay, cool. Everyone okay, we move on to trails? Okay, so Weber River is the backbone of the trails system. The plan has the trail on the entire Weber River. On the plan, blue is all the paved and like a separated paved trail. And then green are bike lanes. One thing that I want to change in the map, and Ray, by the way, we're reworking this, so I know you'll have comments on it, and we're addressing those. But one thing discussed just recently, changing Island Road from bike lanes to a separated paved pathway. And even some residents that have been coming to some of our meetings have recommended that Island Road would be better with a separated paved pathway, maybe asphalt, maybe concrete.
So it's not a sidewalk necessarily, but a separate, a path that runs along the side of the road.
Yeah, in this case, it may not be, a trail really is 8 feet or wider when it's paved, because that's when we typically call it a trail, and it's different than a sidewalk. On Island Road, there may just be 4 feet, or maybe 3 in some cases, or 5, I don't, it is so narrow, and there's irrigation, ditches, head gates, power, driveways. I mean, it's not ideal, but giving people a location. Also, city staff has talked about, it may just need to be wider asphalt and then painted, which isn't ideal, but it's better than nothing. So, trailheads, we have the existing trailhead, the new one at Young, Bridge and Commercial Street. And then a few other proposed ones here. One up at the rifle range, if that changes uses in the future. And then also the Fish Pond Park would be a trailhead as well. So any other trailheads, keep in mind as we go. And then the yellow are soft trails, gravel, dirt, kind of foothills. This is the easement that we got with the new development. So the city has a 20-foot easement right up here at the Valley Vista. And just today, I was actually also on here. Oh, let me go back. We have pedestrian crossings. That's a big priority. So one on State Street, figuring that out. We also have the ones in the downtown plan on State. This one, I think actually could happen sooner rather than later. I was looking at it. If UDOT will participate, there's actually room without a lot of modifications. We could get trails and crosswalks across there on the east one. So.
Jake, we're trying to go big and have one go over the freeway and the railroad with UDOT.
Yeah, I think that,
It's included in their study now.
yeah. So as the mayor mentioned, UDOT's looking at a pedestrian bridge over the freeway, and yeah, that would be a lifesaver, literally, and the usage of going, I mean, if you live in the main part of Morgan, you can get to the foothills faster and go see your friends. If you live in North Morgan, you can get to the downtown and the river and the main part of town. So I think that would be a big gain on that. I do have some additional street connections that we're adding, looking at adding. So I think we should come back to transportation on that. Anything on trails in terms of, are we missing any spots that you think we need a trail?
So the one that you're doing in North Morgan, the 20-foot one, it's just at the top of that subdivision?
Yeah, and on the east side. So right here from this side, there's, the city has the power station there, and right by the rifle range. It's hard to see, isn't it? Oh, that's Teresa's cursor. Okay, so right here across this side, and then also on this side, on the perimeter. And I think this is something that is becoming newer, that anytime we have a development, we're saying, what can you offer for trails? We can't demand, we can't require unless it's an overlay zone, then we have negotiation. But if it's a by right development or already approved, we can't. But with the subdivision coming down in the, what's that one called, Teresa?
Valley Vista?
No, the one down in Southwest.
Morgan Creekside Meadows?
Morgan Creekside Meadows. one of the sidewalks was converted from a 5-foot sidewalk to an 8-foot sidewalk, becoming a trail. And that was just through negotiation with the developer. So, and that'll be built that's part of the agreement, part of the plans. So I think we've made some good progress there. Anytime there's a new development, let's just look for trails. And the idea is in the immediate future, it's a trail to nowhere. It's a piece here, it's a piece there, but eventually you get a network citywide, and it takes a decade or two, but we gotta
You know,
start and improve.
you said, Jake, that you can't demand it in a lot of cases, but you know, it really is beneficial to the developers too. I mean, just look down in Mountain Green, how many of those developments have trails. I mean, it helps the whole community. It adds to the desirability of the community. So it seems like most developers would be pretty willing to negotiate trails.
I think so, especially the larger ones.
Mhm.
But it does kind of depend on the mentality. With the Creekside Meadows, we had to really arm twist a little bit, and the Valley Vista, we just said, you give us the easement and we'll go after the grants to build it. And so the developer probably thought, oh, the city could build an amenity for us. I mean, it'll serve the public, but also their residents. So anything else on trails?
You want to look at any of the verbiage in the document? Because there's a bunch of changes on trails in here. Some sections are totally duplicated. Some sections don't indicate really what's happening. I got a bunch of changes
Okay.
in the actual document itself. I don't know how you want to handle those.
I just want you to, let's go over it after.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
There's a bunch of places that duplicate the exact same wording.
The current version that we have, we've actually been getting some of those, but this will be really good to get that.
Okay.
Anything on the downtown vision? This went through a lot. In terms of a public process. Okay. I don't know if we want to talk about future land use. Ray, is there any content items in terms of like discussion items you want to go into?
In which?
In the parks, trails, or anybody else before we?
I don't think so on parks and trails, not necessarily concept, but just some so. We have just little stuff like the fish park thing. Talk about hills for sledding and skiing. I get a sledding hill, but I'm not sure how you create a ski hill in that small fish park. Just some verbiage stuff like that.
Yeah, there was
The content needs to be changed. Just some verbiage stuff that to me doesn't floor make sense.
yeah, and I think that got mixed in earlier the year, last year. Mayor, I don't know if you remember, you were talking with somebody about a sledding hill. I don't know if actually having a sledding hill is important to the parks plan. We could add that, but that's where I think that came in.
That may work, because in our neighborhood, the kids go down, they sleigh in the retention basins. That's enough hill for small kids.
For little kids, yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be fun.
So sledding is maybe possible, but I don't think skiing is gonna be an option.
No.
Yeah.
It's not dead either. It's still.
It's not dead. Where do people go if they want some more serious sledding?
Race Ranch, private property.
Private property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes the Mountain Green rest area.
Or Snow Basin, if you want, yeah.
Is there, oh, see, we never went that far. Okay.
You can get between the trucks. no.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, up on Trappers though.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. Yeah. Quick question,
Yeah.
sorry. The furthest east in the dark yellow, there's a little street there. There's no street there. So I noticed that on several maps.
Like, oh, I know what you're talking about. So where it says MPC and then there's a strip?
Yeah, just move this right there. Is that?
Oh,
What is
You're
that?
saying that street is not there, but it's on the map?
Yeah.
what is that? Yeah, that's not, that's, shouldn't be there. That's just a field.
I noticed that a couple slides ago too, on the, I think, is it the transportation map?
Hmm. Let's go to that. I'll put a note on it.
Yeah, right there.
This one up here has,
You can see it better.
oh, that, right, yeah,
On every map, but there's no road there.
right. Sorry, it's on one more. This will be the main one.
Yeah, it's on all of them.
Oh, that's showing that as the,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a road back there.
What is it?
What is it?
It's just a private road that accesses those old houses and stuff.
The one that goes up to the Lauders? Because that's
No.
more, but is that a road or a driveway?
No, yeah,
Oh.
it's more like a driveway. But it is asphalt. Whoever owns that property just put that road in
Oh,
there.
okay, back to the old mink shed.
Here, let's look at ownership. We'll see what, if there's a right of way on it. Oh, there's not. So, okay, that's in, yeah, I think we should remove that because essentially it's a long driveway, even though it reads, as a road, but there's no right of way on it. Yeah. Okay. On the on the road connection plan though, I think we do have planned a road coming from here so that when Ridgeline continues, if this
If that's ever developed.
Eco Land Holdings or whoever developed this property, then that would connect over. And probably also the WDC farms.
Mhm.
We would certainly want to see some connections up here. And also some kind of connection from Ridgeline over to Imperial, but I don't know where you would do that.
Right through Justin's backyard.
Okay. Just let them know. And I think that's one thing to keep in mind is you can never have enough street connections, but there always should be at least minimums. And historically, Morgan did super good in term because you have the Pioneer Grid and all the connections. And then just like most cities in Utah, just kind of went the cul-de-sac way, and then you don't have these connections. And on all sides of Morgan outside of the core, there's challenges there. Okay, good catch on that. Anything you want to talk about on future land use?
Got lots of stuff I want to talk about, but I don't know if it's appropriate now. Look down the map, there's some dotted gray lines. I don't see those on the ledger unless I'm missing that.
Well, that's the annexation.
What parallels the river and the freeway, for example.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Goes all the way through around various places on the map. I don't see it on the ledger at all.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. Oh, that was actually supposed to be straight connections, but we'll pull those out because they should just be on the transportation. any comments on the future land use? We've talked about it a few times. Do you feel like we're,
Yeah, I have a lot of comments when I go, in the other pages. No, that's all on the map I've got.
anything with, in terms of the,
Yep.
on this one?
On, I guess, under low density residential, this part you've asked is compatible zoning includes single family large lot. Do we always leave it that, or you want to put a number in there? Medium sized single family, 12,000. So the question is, are we going to go down to 12,000 square feet in that low density residential? You look at where the low density residential, are we wanting to go down to 12,000 square feet?
I can't picture what 12,000 square feet looks like.
Okay.
Is there a way you can put that
Yes.
in perspective for me?
Yes.
Well, I thought the 12,000 was medium density. It
Well,
was-
and it is,
So you're really, there's no designation, because you got medium, call it 12,000.
that's it's a quarter acre lot.
Okay,
So, I mean, if you want me to look at it,
so it is,
all 12,000 square feet or more bigger.
yeah, so,
So rough is,
right in here,
no, Fox Point, those are only.
that's 0.3. That is almost, just a little bit shy.
so that's not low density, it's medium.
Yeah, and what we have in the language is
Asking.
low density and everything is broad. So there's multiple in there. We have large lot and then we have medium.
And do we define what large is, larger
Well,
than?
No, we haven't. That's what I think I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, what that's a good question. Is large 14,000, like a third of an acre? Is that when it starts to be large? Obviously, 1 acre, 2 acre, but where's that bottom threshold in terms of what that means?
I think it would be beneficial to define that, to Ray's point.
And large, I think it would be a square footage or greater.
And that's the way I would rather say it. Instead of saying large and small in two different numbers, I'd rather put a number at or greater.
Mhm.
Is the way I would rather do it.
Okay.
Don't we have medium density?
That's the next.
Can go RM15 too?
No,
If we read that writing, it is.
not in the draft. This is the draft.
Apartments. And I know Tony is really struggling with the way that writing is.
So we're trying to figure out now.
So if you look right here, Mayor,
In the past, our R112 was 12,000 or greater. Our R120 was 20,000 or greater. So I'm suggesting we select a square footage, you say that or larger in our low density. Rather than saying large, medium and small lots and going down to 12. That's my
you want to put a
suggestion.
square footage on the large lot.
I'm suggesting whatever number, I didn't go more than that if you want. I'm suggesting we put a number in there rather than using the verbiage of single family large lot. And
Well-
then sometimes small lots.
You have to remember, we don't want to be exactly the same as zoning. The idea is it's broader and within the MDR, there's a lot of different types of zones. And also within the LDR, there's multiple zones as well.
So LDR could be agricultural, it could be 5-acre lots, 1-acre lots, which is rural residential as a zoning. That would, I would say, from a staff point of view, you say large lots, those are RR zone and agricultural zone. And then when it says middle size, I would do that as a R112. And then when you go to medium, I would do R18 to R110. If you're matching the zoning we currently have. Does that explain, Ray?
John, do you want to weigh in? I think you're, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this.
Well, I totally agree with the thought of not making this map and the designations the same as the zoning map. Because you are talking about what's the long run future for those properties. Whether we have the right definitions, I think, is a good question. The way I'm reading this, the new part being in the green, right? We're talking 12,000-ish for low density. And then we go to slightly smaller for the medium, even down to 8 and 10s. And Teresa, you had another designation, but I don't think we have that one yet.
Which one, John?
Thought, Teresa, you maybe mentioned a middle one?
The
Maybe I
medium
misunderstood.
density residential.
Okay.
That's
So,
the one.
okay, we just have the two. You know, we can list zones that might be appropriate. But again, you want to keep it as general as you can, because you may have a different zone 5 years from now, and you know, you may change some of these. But I think when you do the square footage ranges, I think that's not bad. Yeah.
So what if medium was 11 up to 14? That's a third of an acre. And then large would be larger than that.
What do you guys
And
think?
because we have small already defined. So we would just need to actually clarify what medium is, and then large would be bigger. And I think a medium would really be that, you know, 11 to 14. That gets you from quarter acre up to a third of an acre is medium. And then anything greater than that is a large.
That sounds reasonable to me. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I still don't see it in verbiage. I'm not following where you're gonna go with it verbiage wise.
Yeah, so for medium, 11,000.
In medium, which one? Where are you gonna put the words?
So look right here. So this is defined. So under low density, because we use medium twice. Medium, and we can even put definitions in, but okay, we've got, let me go to medium density residential, and then we'll go back to low density, because that will make sense. Compatible zoning includes single family large lot. And then, so we'll add a square footage there, medium sized single family lot, and we have just 12,000. So we change that to be 11,000 to 14, throwing that out, we can change it. And then we already have small in here. And this is 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. ADUs and overlay zones when context appropriate.
Well, we're on that one. We've talked to city before about not having 8,000. Will we let them back in?
This is the general plan long term.
I know. Well, we've talked about not wanting 8,000 anymore. The long term, we want to let them back in. That's the question. We've determined in the past, we didn't want any more 8,000s. This is saying we're gonna let them back in.
Recent discussion, what I've heard from planning commission members and council members and staff is desire for more single family, and it's okay to go smaller lots. And the idea to have more single family and maybe less of the townhomes and less of that as the city grows. That allows for, and putting it in the general plan doesn't make it automatic. And it doesn't even create an ordinance or change the ordinance. But it could be 5 years or 10 years. Let's look at that.
If we don't want to go there, why put it in there? for 15 years out.
What I've been hearing from the planning commission and the council is they do
They're
like
okay
the
to go-
idea
they're
of.
Okay to go down 8,000 square
yeah.
foot lots.
But you guys,
Right.
I think this is a great point to talk about it. What are your thoughts on that?
The staff's okay to go down to 8,000 square foot lots?
We've talked about it in the future, that could be a possibility, that what we're seeing is there's so many multifamily housing going, and we're missing that first starter home of a single family. Nobody can afford a 10 to 15,000 square foot lot because the land prices are so high. So do we want to have more single family starter homes? The only way to accomplish that is to maybe possibly go to a smaller lot. Then we'll get more single family that is affordable. Well, I'm not gonna say affordable, but that's what we're talking about we're now get that desire of that starter home. What is a starter home? A
And-
town.
And this is a shift from, the current general plan has attached homes, and there's no attached homes
I
in
understand that.
MDR. So it's swinging back a little bit, but not back to where it was. Is it okay if we ask Dave and Jay what they think?
Sure.
So I'm trying to visualize, I guess I'm having a hard time visualizing what an 8,000 square foot lot would look like.
If you'll go to Mountain View, it's across the freeway, it's the new homes
Big ones?
there's some 8,000 in there.
Yep, 0.18, I'll tell you exactly what that is. $7,800. That's what that home is. Right there. So maybe go drive through that neighborhood and see what you think. And the idea is not that every neighborhood and every house is that one size, but that in the MDR area at some point in the future, there could be a place for new development to have that. And it could be blended, meaning the neighborhood has 3 different sizes. And so you get that mixture of income and family sizes and land sizes.
Yeah, but if we tell a developer they can build 8,000 square foot lots, that's what they're going to build.
Well, if the ordinance says you can build, if the ordinance requires averages, then the developer has to build whatever the ordinance says.
Does our ordinance require averages?
No, it's minimums right now. But again, we're thinking forward. And the other thing is the small could be because we already allow 4,500 in the MRO as single family. So we've gone way below that, but we require porches, we push the garages back, we require water-wise landscaping, we require street trees. I mean, we do so much more for that most of the houses in the city don't have. And so we're giving some density, but then we're also adding for some more, and it's a special use tool.
But this wouldn't be that.
It could be,
But
it could be.
It will be, the way they've got it worded. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't.
But also
It can come with things. It could say, and the current general plan and proposed is the idea that if there is increase in density in some areas, make it be nicer in terms of architecture and things like that.
So basically, if we agree that this is the direction we want to go, we probably need to take a look at our ordinances and make sure that they're going to still give us a degree of control. Or at least
A
an
degree of
expectation.
quality.
Yes, there you go.
And also, again, timing, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The state legislature is already talking about minimum square foot lots, so this could get removed anyway. But that's not something that we can control. But what I'm saying is it's not automatic. If you put something in the general plan, it's not automatic. There's that process of creating an ordinance and looking at it.
And I'm not opposed to it. I mean, like Teresa said, I would rather see single-family homes than the high-density townhomes. And I would rather see people who can afford a starter home or maybe a finisher home if they're downsizing.
Finisher home. I like that.
Dave, did you have any other comments, or Jay?
My thought in general is I think that's a fantastic neighborhood that reminds me of, in the bigger, broader vision of things, if a city has a neighborhood like this, to me, that represents some space, a nice home. Granted, it's not like the farm or anything like that, but this reminds me of a very, I can see a lot higher density. I can see, so I think I appreciate 8,000 square feet, maybe more than some might. But I think the bigger issue that I've sensed from the community is the buffering as things are added. And so if we were to take this example, what I would say is, as I've thought about that, you've got some homes there, kind of what I would say on the west of this community on the screen. And if that ever gets built out, my thoughts were always have the backyard neighbors match the zoning. Like, so as that field to the west gets built, if the desire is higher density, at least give a road buffer. So the new home that goes in that backyard of 611 or whatever the house number was there, make them be kind of similar to square footage. And then they'll put in a road where that new house will have a front yard and then allow the lower density more in the middle of the new field. Because I sense a lot of people that have existing homes, they want something similar in their backyard. And then, maybe if there's a road in between, maybe the density can then increase. So I'm cool with the density. I would just like it to be probably thought out for the future backyard neighbors. So you're not making that guy at 611 mad or something.
Becky, what do you think?
Yeah, I wish, I'm back to what happened in our neighborhood. I have an acre, but I have 11 smashed high-density units within feet of my yard. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again. That's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. So yeah, I agree. Let's, something similar when that does get developed.
Transitioning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I like the way that Jason explained that or described that. I think that's a good thought. Just to have that transition from one to the other.
Yeah, I might throw in that I've seen a few ordinances where the periphery, if it's going to a larger zone next door, they require slightly larger lots on that edge. So you'd have that road option, as you mentioned, but maybe larger lots could be another way to handle that. And a lot of that, I think, needs to happen in the rezoning process. We have to remember that general plans aren't zone changes, but people have to go through their rezone process, and that's when you get to do something to add some amenities, make some modifications as you go through that.
Did you get what you needed from us?
A lot of
Or
good.
did we just muddy the waters further?
No, I want a discussion.
Pull up the map again.
Yeah.
Well, what if we worked on the green language in there for another time?
Yeah, we'll come back with that.
Pull up that map again. I mean, no.
Which
sorry.
map?
The
Oh,
Land
the
use
future
map.
land use.
As I look at the medium density residential, there's very few pieces there that are not already built on. The question is in the back of those people's yards or the side of their yards, like the one we had a while back, all you got is pieces all the way through there. What do we want? Do we want to allow this stuff we're talking to go in between people's homes in that MDR? They're very small pieces that are left in that MDR. Just a concept to look at.
No, I actually really like that approach, Ray, because I think sometimes we make the mistake of thinking of things a little too academically, rather than actually looking at Morgan and going, where is this going to work in our community? So would those 8,000 square foot lots work in the open spots that are still there in the MDR?
So Madam Chair, just a comment on the Nye project with the smaller homes. 3 or 4 families have moved in there and first homes. So that
Good. That's
that
where-
was sort of
like we hoped it
what
would.
was intended. And then also, we definitely don't want to look back and have to repent. So I think we need to be sort of on the ball with this part of the general plan on the zoning to, because we have some mistakes in the city. And we have irate neighbors. And so I think I've talked Gary's ear off in the last 2 weeks, but I think we just have to look out for especially established neighborhoods, that we don't just say throw a condo or a 5-plex where there's just existing single-family homes, and it's been that way for 75 years. So I don't know how to work it other than I would like to see that the planning commission has more flexibility to say that might not be the right time or place. So I don't know how you work that zone. I was telling Gary that I think the smallest lot we ought to go to is a 1/4 acre. But that's only because I'm hearing what residents are saying, and not necessarily, I'm not a developer or a realtor, but there's a lot of sad and mad people that live here. And just since some of the recent developments, it's just skyrocketed on my phone. And so I'm just trying to take their point of view and maybe make it more of a power that the planning commission has, if that's what the state legislature's gonna do. And then the other thing, I would like to send the state legislator, in fact, I just talked to ours last night and I said, I really don't want you planning the city. Stay out of it. We're doing an okay job. So she's gonna take that to the rest of them. And she lives in Mountain Green, and it's just blown up there. And so I don't know what you call it. Am I being ornery? Am I being, but my phone is live now. And many of them, in the gun range, it was standing room only. When the county's trying to zone it, 1/2 acre lots, and then turn it over to the city, which I don't think, and there was standing room only protesting them moving the gun range. There's houses right next to it. They criticize me as the mayor current that it's my fault that we built homes along the gun range. But the people that live in the gun range, I have not had one complaint from them. In fact, some of them go sit on their porch and have their morning cup and listen to it because they love it so much. So, yeah, and it's probably not even feasible for a park up there now because they're finding it's going to have lead everywhere in it. And it's probably going to be millions of dollars to clean it up if we take it out of a gun range. So I'm just speaking for what the people are saying to me, and it's not just the ones in North Morgan, although I get a lot, but it's everywhere.
And that's what I'm saying with the MDR.
Mhm.
Same comment. You talk about like the one we had a while back that we denied, would you go to 8,000 square foot lots on that piece? Allow them to put 3 in there. That's what that.
Well,
that's
that
what
was
this-
different. They were going for attached
I
houses.
understand that. I'm saying
It's
if
not
we-
the same.
is if we change this, so they put 8,000 square foot lots in there.
If the zoning allowed and
And if I look at the rest of this, I think exactly what Mayor's talking about. I look at the MDR, most of those are infill pieces. There's very few small, large pieces that you can do a larger development in MPR.
Okay. So what's the question we're trying to answer? Is the question whether or not we feel like 8,000 square foot lots would be appropriate in the MDR? Because I'm not sure that's what was suggested, right? We said
if
10,000 or above, or is that the question?
8,000 was in there.
Okay,
And in each of these areas is a range of housing types. So you have to look at the whole of it. And the question is what was in there. And we took out attached housing because that was in the current general plan. And in the draft, we go down just as this small lot, single family. And a lot of people just want to have their own house, but don't really care about a yard as much. But we're hearing a lot, say 1/4 acre only or half. And then, there's other quiet population that does want that smaller lot. And it doesn't mean it has to happen right away. And there's that ordinance. Even if this general plan were adopted as is, it wouldn't matter because there's not a zone on the books that's allowed for it. And it also could be could be recommended as an overlay, meaning it comes with something as well.
So my question is, just kind of like the point that was made earlier, about the people that live by the gun range not actually caring. I find the same in a lot of ways. People don't want to, we don't have to deal with new railways, but you would say, oh, the rail line's really loud. Yeah, so people live by the railroad line and they're fine with it, right? So I think the way you deal with that is like, does anybody actually really care? Like the new neighborhood that's built? If the people that are buying the lots and living there choose to buy them, well, then they're happy with that. That's what they chose to buy. But I think what it goes back to is just kind of what we said. How does it affect the person that's already there? And so I think the better discussion is the buffer zone because, what got put in your backyard is what matters is why the mayor's phone blows up. So talking about the transition protects the current people and it allows the new people like, okay, if the current people are okay with the similar thing in their backyard, then the new people across the street are okay with a little more high density or they wouldn't have bought there anyway. Then I think that's what keeps everybody happy is the buffer zone. That's what keeps people from being pissed off. And so I think a better discussion is more about I felt like we had a lot of discussion in the past about buffer zones when the townhomes were going in behind Tractor Supply. We thought about that and we wanted, some stuff there. But what happened is we didn't really get into the details of it. It was more surface level buffer zone changing. And maybe that's not right for the vision, right? But maybe it's powerful for the vision. Maybe that kind of language about buffer zones gives current residents confidence in the vision that their backyard's protected and allows for growth that people want. And so, I don't know, maybe there's more to be said about, do we talk about buffering more? And allowing that transition to happen in a way that everybody's happy.
thank you for that, Jay. I just want to remind everybody that we have a hard stop at 7:30, so we have 5 more minutes. As far as this issue goes, I would like to think about it a little bit more, and I would like to drive through those neighborhoods. So what else can we accomplish tonight?
Well, we can stop and give Gary 5 minutes or more
That's
of
sufficient, Gary?
training, a quick training.
And this is less training and maybe more telling you how to solve this problem. And because it is a problem, every planning commission, every city council is faced with it. Developer comes in, he's got a plan. He presents the plan to you and you go, that's really nice. But we need maybe larger houses on the outside and maybe a mix of smaller houses on the inside. And then you go and rezone it and the developer goes in, puts smaller houses everywhere because that's what the general plan says you can do. How do you fix that? 2 ways. One, you guys have the police power to rezone. According to the rezone, a developer can build. That's your police power. And so your ordinances should be in shape. What Jay's saying is exactly right. You look at how your ordinance deals with buffers, that type of thing. But here's something else you've got. It's another tool that I don't know that you knew about or fully understand. And that's called a development agreement. Every zone, really, every zone, other than just a flat zone where you're zoning it exactly 12,000 square foot lots, and all you got to do is decide based on the ordinance how those lots should be laid out. Every zone probably needs a development agreement. When you've got a broad, to John Jensen's point, your master plan should be flexible. It should allow for smaller units and larger units. But how are those laid out? Well, the developers come in with all kinds of good ideas and they lay it on the table for you. And then how do you hold their feet to the fire? How do you hold their feet to the fire on 5 lots rather than 12 that they end up coming in for or something of that nature? The way that you do that is with a development agreement. So you have the city has the right to contract with the developer for what he says he's going to bring in. State law says that you can enter into a contract with a developer. And give you an example. North of Layton, there was 50 acres up there. A developer came in and he says, I want to develop this. And he wanted a mix of high density, low density, and then middle density. And city council saying, well, okay, we can go ahead and set this zoning in place. R12 or R15, I can't remember what it was. And we said, but how are you going to fit in everything in? And so what he did was we developed a development agreement with him that essentially created a bubble map of the areas where he's going to put these things. So to Jay's point, you'd have a bubble map showing higher density, 12,000 square foot lots abutting the field because you're likely to have bigger lots the other side. The smaller lots were in the center. Bubble map showed the smaller lots in the center. And we did that by agreement. And today, if you go look north of 193, you'll see a development on the way to the dump road that involves the higher densities along that dump road and the lower densities as they come into the center and the lowest densities as they abut the existing subdivision. And that was all done by development agreement, but in connection with the rezone, which is the strongest thing that the city council has going for it, because rezones are almost impossible to overturn. But if you attach it to a development agreement to that, you have not only your rezone, which says it needs to be R112, but maybe you decide that you want to do lot averaging with the lots, the biggest lots on the edge. Well, how do you hold his feet to the fire for that, his or her? The way you do is through a development agreement. You say, okay, we'll go along with your 12,000 square foot lots, and we'll go along with your mixing those size of the lots. But they've got to average at 12,000 square feet, and we want the smaller lots in the center. And so we sign a development agreement with him. That development agreement goes with the land. If that zoning is ever changed in the future, it doesn't mean future councils can't change the zoning. It just simply means that in the future, they not only have to change the zoning, but they have to change the agreement as well. Same thing happened in north of Target, where the chicken place is now. Okay, nobody wanted residential units abutting their large lot subdivision until 15 years later, when the developer still wasn't developing that property, came back into the council and they actually changed the zone and the development agreement with the permission of the families that were, around the edge. It's not a vote, but they listened to the input. So development agreements can customize your zoning decisions. And they're really good because what the developer tells you he's going to put in, he has to put in, because we record that development agreement against the land, and it has as much power. We'll go after them on a contract basis if they fail to do what they're supposed to do. And we don't even have to approve it if they don't do what they're supposed to do. But then in addition to that, you've also got the zone change. So the city council can change the zone, they can approve the development agreement, and it gives you another tool as a planning commission, so you can move the pieces around. And you can say, well, wait a second, we've heard a lot about this. These people have large lots. Let's not put small lots behind these people. What can you do there? Developer comes back and says, I can do this. And you say, okay, write it up. We write it up, and that's it. So that's my 5-minute presentation. It's called a development agreement, and you can't use it to require developers to do what is already in the ordinance. So on administrative decisions, if you allow 32-foot streets in your ordinance, you can't write a development agreement that says, oh, you can only have a 30-foot street, or you have to go to, it's more likely to go the other direction. You need a 55-foot street. You can't contravene your administrative ordinance. But when it comes to zoning, densities, the types of uses you have in a zone, you can control all of those with that development agreement. So you can cut out a lot of the uses in the residential zone and say, you can only do these. You can't do these. Do you agree with that? Yes. Okay, we'll approve the zoning with the development agreement. And so they're prevented from using the full flexibility that they would have in the zone until they come back to the council, planning commission council again, and change it. So anyway, it's just a thought, and I've gone 2 minutes over. But
That was a good
let's
thought,
stop
Gary. Appreciate that.
on the 30. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
One quick question.
Thank you for all you do, by the way.
One quick question, Gary, on zoning changes. Seems like in the past couple of years, we've just kind of granted those. Talk to us about the right we have to just deny zoning changes.
Well, zoning changes,
We can deny them. We haven't done that in the past. We just kind of accepted them.
no, you actually did.
Oh.
You denied that on that one lot.
Prior to that one,
Yep.
we were accepting everything. We weren't denying stuff. So we can deny zone changes.
Okay, we will end there. Thank you, everybody, for your input tonight. Lots to think about.
So at what stage in the process would you return to the developer?
So as soon as you get the application,
So how we do.
and the developer's always got his ideas. Comes in, he wants a zone change, and he shows you the property. And I remember years ago, we used to